Congratulations on another win. You're 2-0. Pretty good ball club you ran into last night, a playoff team from a year ago, and they had really run up the score on Blackwell in their first outing. So you guys, I think, probably knew you had your hands full, right?
We definitely did. Perry's a very good ball club, and I think everybody was there sees they run a very unique offense that's a little bit different. It's hard to prepare for, and the fact that your scout team's got to try to emulate them, and nobody runs that, so it's hard to get a look for your starters. But I thought, after the first 8 minutes, we settled in there and played all right. We played a little bit better on defense, definitely not what we were wanting, but you got to give credit to Perry. They create some issues and some mismatches on you just based on the number of bodies they got, and their ability to run the option makes it difficult for your personnel groupings. But overall, we're excited to be 2-0. It's good to be in a game like that because sometimes games go like that, and our kids responded, found a way to come back from 14 down, and we're excited about the win.
I learned after the game you and Coach Hickson actually have a little history, right?
Yeah. When I was at Newkirk, he's been at Perry there for, I think, this 5th or 6th year, so we would have to defend that. And I was trying to tell the kids all week, you can't think that you've got them figured out and decide, hey, I know where this is going, I'm going to do my own thing. And unfortunately, a couple times we did that, and when you do that, you pay. But I think some of it is our kids at Newkirk got accustomed to playing against it. And I think here at Cushing we will as well. I think next year we'll be better prepared for it. But you still got to go execute. And, they do a great job. And I think they're going to have a really good season.
Let's talk about the individual performance you got out of Gage Stallworth last night. I don't know if that's a record, but if it's not, it's close.
Yeah. Initially you look at it and you go, wow. 245 yards rushing, 6 touchdowns, and another 1 receiving, so he had 7 total touchdowns. Is great. The thing I love about Gage and this whole team is he would come over and just be like, hey, the O-line is really blocking well. And there were times, and Gage will tell you this, there's times that we're running 8-10 yards before a defender is in our way. And that's a testament to those guys coming off the football. We had to shore some things up this week in the blocking schemes and just kind of what we're trying to do. And I think they did a real good job this week in practice, and it showed in the game. They did a good job. I thought our receivers did okay, blocking downfield. A lot of work to do, but great performance by him in the O-line, no doubt.
Despite the fact that he did have a lot of cases where nobody touched him for 5-8 yards down the field, there were other instances where he made either the first guy miss or he bounced off that first guy, and it was taking 2 or 3 guys to bring him down.
Gage is a physical football player, especially when he's got the ball in his hands, and he has no problem lowering his shoulder and getting tough yards. And I think his style and our line style wears on people, because later in the 3rd and 4th quarter you see one little move and now he's into the open field. Those guys kind of start to duck their head, and I'm not sure that those DBs from all these towns, you have to tackle a kid like that for 4 quarters. It's not a lot of fun. So we appreciate the way he plays. We appreciate the way all the kids play. But that's kind of what we preach, is a physical style of football, and he's one of the guys that does that for us.
Now, you got in the hole early, and usually when that happens, it's like turnovers or some kinds of egregious mistakes. But Perry just took it right down your throat there for the first 2 series.
Yeah, and the first 8 minutes is what we kind of talked to the kids after the game. The first 8 minutes, we're down 14-0, and we've had 3 plays of offense. They have dominated the line of scrimmage on both sides. They've done everything they need to do to be up 14, and we sure haven't helped ourselves any. But the big thing is the kids were pretty relaxed. Hey, we calmed down, and then we started to play. And after that point, I think we were 7 for 7 on drives the rest of the game, and take out the first 8 minutes, and we got after them 48-22. But what we tell the kids all the time is it's a 48-minute game, so you have to add those 8 minutes, and it's 48-36, I believe. So you got to value each play. Each play is very important, and at the end it's magnified because of all the things that have gone on, but those early plays are just as important as the end ones.
the old cliche is that you see the most improvement between week 1 and week 2, and obviously there was quite a bit of improvement. You didn't have all the silly, goofy penalties and that kind of thing. Did you see the amount of improvement you expected or that you desired, or?
You know, we always strive to be better, so there's things that we can do better. Each kid and me and everybody, we can all do better. But for the most part, offensively, we saw a lot of improvement, which, you know, will really help. We got to continue to work. Defensively, we've got to understand our game plan was a little different this week based on what they do. And there were times when I thought we did okay, and there were times when we didn't really execute it. And the thing about last night was you got to have all 11 guys on the same page, because it's going to take all 11 to stop an offense like that. And there were times that we didn't have that. So we got to understand our mistakes and just continue to improve. And at the end of the day, we're talking about 16, 17-year-old kids. And it got a little crazy out there. It got a little wild, but our kids responded and kept playing each play as hard as they could. So as long as we got effort, we got a chance.
What about Cleveland? I know they got a win last night, and I don't think this is the same Cleveland that Cushing has been used to pounding on over the years. What do you think will be the challenge in dealing with Cleveland?
Well, I mean, they're 2-0, and they're a really good football team. And I tell everybody that I see, our schedule is really tough this year. All 10 opponents we feel are good football teams. And you know, they won last night. They've got a quarterback in the Stoller kid that's probably the best, one of the best that we'll see throughout the year. And he puts a lot of pressure on you because he can throw it, he can run it. He's one of them dual threat guys. So it's a totally different challenge from that standpoint. But you know, I feel like they're in more traditional sets, so our kids will understand a little bit better how to line up and things like that. So the coaches are in there right now. We're trying to put together a game plan, and you know, we'll do our best, and I know the kids will, and hopefully we go out there Friday night and play well.
What was the attitude of the kids after the game last night?
Honestly, they were excited. I mean, kids love to win, and we were excited for that. And we told them, hey, on Monday we got some things that we're going to watch and improve on, but there's also things you're going to see on film that aren't that bad. You know, a misstep here or a wrong read here, and we would have had the play stopped or even got more yards on plays. So we stress to the kids, it's never as good as it seems, it's never as bad as it seems. Film won't lie. But as far as attitude and team chemistry, this team is really good. I think we got a good group of seniors, a good group of juniors, and our sophomores and freshmen are great. I think they get along pretty well for the most part, and I really like the chemistry, and I really like the feel and the vibe of this team.
It looked to me like your O-line kind of took over after those first, after that first 3 and out. The O-line really kind of controlled the game from that point on.
I would agree with that wholeheartedly. I thought, you know, there wasn't, and once the running game got going, you know, with Coach Bull doing a great job and Coach Cook coaching those receivers to block it up, you know, we felt as a staff, and due to the conditions and the wind and kind of the wetness, you know, hey, we're going to have to run the football tonight, and I thought we did a good job. And a big deal, too, is we stress to the kids, hey, going into a situation like that with the weather and the rain and all that, everybody says, hey, Perry's got the advantage because of their offense. Well, we feel like we can run the football, too, and our O-line came off the ball and did some really nice things. You know, here on film, they're showing up in some situations, hey, we're starting to get a feel for each other. We're getting some blocks, and like you said, you make great improvement. I think the O-line made the biggest improvement from week 1 to week 2.
All right. Well, Coach, good luck against Cleveland.
Hey, thanks.
All right, we got O-line Coach Bullock with us again this week. Coach, congratulations, another win. And I kind of thought you guys took over the game on your second offensive series. Your first one was 3 and out, and by that time Perry had you down 14-0, and then your guys came alive.
Yes, sir. It was one of those nights that's kind of a offensive lineman's dream, muddy, wet. You know, we knew it was going to be tough to throw the ball, especially with the conditions that they were in, and we kind of challenged those guys this week. You know, versus Manford, we had some good things happen, but we were kind of inconsistent. And we had a great week of practice, and you could kind of tell that our size started kind of wearing them down a little bit. They ended up at the end of the game with 10 in the box, But what I really liked was how we fought back, getting them 14-0, getting a little nervous. The old kids never gave in, and the old 5-6 guys up front, they got after it and kind of led the way. And that's kind of our old motto, lead the way, we make the way, and that's what we had to do last night.
It looked to me like, especially in the second half, that first series coming out, you had just that long drive, and your guys were in control.
Yes, sir. It was it was an offensive score fest, and it was two contrasting styles. You got the spread with us and the double wing with them, and we knew we were going to have to score some points. Their offense was really good, and but after at halftime, you could tell the confidence in our kids up front. They're like, Coach, there's nothing that we hadn't seen all week. They're doing exactly what we talked about, and when you got confidence, it's easy to do things. Sometimes those young guys out there that hadn't played, some of this, like Colton Ferris, it's second game to play at varsity level after the game last night. He's like, Coach, it's kind of slowing down for me a little bit, and that's a good thing for us because he's really going to be a good player.
The old cliche, I asked Coach Shoup about this, the old cliche is you see the most improvement between week 1 and week 2, and he thought perhaps the O-line showed the most improvement of any group from week 1 to week 2.
Yeah, he's correct. Like again last week versus Manford, this wasn't consistent. I mean, we play hard. That's what I love about these Cushing kids. They play hard, especially those big guys up front. When you're a big guy, you get labeled kind of being lazy. And last week we were kind of lazy on some things. I think the first game jitters, but you could really see that we were taking control of the second half. I mean, just when you got old Gage Stallworth back there and Justice running the ball, you just got to stay in front of them and block till the whistle blows, and that's what they did last night.
Now, Gage had their career night last night, obviously.
Yeah.
How much pride do your O-line guys take in that?
They take a lot of pride in that. We talk about we're not going to make the newspaper. That's something. We are the guys who are the unsung heroes. Nobody's going to talk about us. They always talk about us when there's a negative play or a quarterback sack, but when Gage is rumbling 7 yards here, 12 yards there, it's all about, the skill guys. And we love that. We want to be the guys that, we know what kind of credit we're getting because Gage, he's a great kid. He's telling us we're doing a good job. Coach Shoup, he's an offensive guy, and he's always promoting the offensive line because those guys, they don't get put in the newspaper. They don't get the video. They don't get the Daily Oklahoma Press. They just get in there and they have to do the dirty work. And they take a lot of pride in seeing Gage and Bingham and those skill guys flourish like they did last night. Now,
does Gage like buying breakfast, or what does he do to take care of his O-line?
He better have a big checkbook to buy those guys breakfast. I don't know. Hopefully he helps them out a little bit this week, but as those offensive linemen, they don't want that. They just love that we got that W, and Gage had an awesome night. Like you said, a record night, 7 touchdowns. You don't see that happen very much, and I'd like to give those guys up front a little bit of credit because watching film this morning, they did some really good things. Still got to improve on a lot of stuff, but they played really, really hard.
What are those? Give me the names of those front 5.
Colton Ferris, Christian Hennix. There's the left side. The center is Andrew Hickman. Right guard is Danny Rowell, and we have a guy that kind of rotates in there with Calvin Work, and our right tackle Shelby Tallman, and a guy who kind of played some tight end for us last night. Back Trevor Hubble, he did a great job of down blocking and kicking out, and those are the guys that kind of paved it last night.
He also had a couple of big catches, or Hubble did.
Yeah. When we came in, me and Coach Shoup, off-season, summer, we were trying to figure out some stuff we could do. We knew we were losing Dawson, and we needed to figure out something we could do with some different packages. And Hubble came in, we're like, hey, he's going to be a blocker. Let's use him as a blocker. He's a defensive lineman. But he had 2 great catches, and during practice he's really worked on his hands. Off season he worked on his hands, and you can kind of tell it's come to fruition right now.
Well, you're 2-0. Time to get ready for Cleveland. They're 2-0, so this is obviously a big game for both of you.
Yes, sir. Last year played Cleveland. We kind of got on them a little early. I think they're 5-1 when we got to them last year, and they have a quarterback who is the best quarterback that we'll see all year. And those kids over in Cleveland, they play hard. They're just some old kids that put that hard hat on and go to work every day, just kind of like us. Watch them on film. They do some things really good. It's going to be a great test for us to go over there beat those guys.
What are the challenges your O-line guys and outside linebackers are going to have?
Offensive line wise, they're gonna give us multiple fronts. They've seen that we're going to run counter and stretch and stuff like that. So they're going to be game planning up. They got a great coaching staff, and those guys do a good job of game planning. Outside linebacker wise, like I told you last week, we're kind of small, and you could kind of tell Perry got after us a little bit. They were big, strong, physical. Let's get all 11 guys in the box and try to wear us out. So outside linebackers, we've got to have a great week of practice to prepare to get kicked out, picked on, because they like to pick on those small guys. Hopefully we can use our speed to our advantage.
The Cleveland quarterback, a run threat, throwing threat. You got to get your linebackers to play assignment football.
Yeah, he's a little bit of everything. I think last year he threw close to 2,000 yards, and I know he ran over 1,000, which is a tremendous season. So we're going to have to be really disciplined and make sure that we get to our drops on pass, and make sure that we don't let him beat us. Make the other guys do something that they're not, it's not natural for them, because this kid has carried them the last few years, and we got to make sure we stop number one first.
All right. Well, Coach, congratulations again on another win. Good luck against Cleveland.
Thank you. Appreciate it.